So this story starts back in 2021 when I was still living in Texas with my family. Before I moved to Colorado, I just had this magnet that drew me to Colorado. I can't really tell you where that inclination came from, but I just knew that something inside of me was like, hey, you have to get to Colorado Springs and just see what's up there. So that's what I did. That magnet went to Colorado and it said, hey, meet me up there. And I was like, all right, I'll meet you up there, dude. I'll get there as soon as I can. And I moved up to Colorado, and I've spent the last 4 years in Colorado, and I can confidently say it was the best decision I ever made moving up there, because it's where I found my community and my friends and myself and just everything. And I fucking miss it, man. I really miss it. But the story ain't sad. This is a good story. So the story of the pink buffalo. This is how it goes. In November of 2024, I had just finished the last fashion show that I did called Inferno. If you saw it, thanks. If you didn't. And after I finished that show, I really felt fulfilled. And I was like, okay, Carter, you got what you needed. And I felt that same magnet in me that was drawing me towards Colorado start spinning in a circle. And it was a weird feeling because I didn't want to leave Colorado, but when that magnet tells me to go somewhere, I gotta go. So in November of 2024, I felt that magnet spinning, and I was like, okay, maybe it's my time to go. I don't know yet. And that magnet was just like, hey, be ready when I'm ready. I was like, okay, I will be. So that was November 2024, December, January, February. One cold February morning, I went to 9-round kickboxing, which I had been doing for 1 month at this time. And I go and I do a 5 a.m. class. And after I do this class, I go and I take a run around Garden of the Gods, which if you're familiar with Garden of the Gods, you know what it looks like. If you don't, it's these huge, massive red rock formations sticking out of the ground in Manitou Springs. And it's cool. They're really cool. And lots of people go running around them, including myself. So this morning, in February, I went and I ran around these rock formations. And as I was running around it, I start running downhill. And all I can think in my head is how much I fucking hate the cold, man. Like, I'm really, really not built for it. And just how much I would love to be on a beach in the heat right now. And when I thought that, I looked up at Garden of the Gods, which I've seen 1,000 times. I lived right by it. And I look at it, and it reminds me of pictures that I'd seen of Thailand. And I stopped dead in my tracks. In that moment, that magnet that drew me to Colorado instantly went straight to Thailand. And I thought, I'm going to Thailand. And I finished up my run as fast as I could, and the whole time I was smiling, like damn near screaming, because I'm like, I'm going to Thailand. It's not even a question. Like, I now know that I'm going to Thailand. Me and this magnet on the same page. When I said that magnet left me, it literally left and said, hey, meet me in Thailand. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll figure out the rest. So I hop in my car, I drive home, and I start planning everything I can for this, like the actual logistics of like money, how I'm gonna get here, what I gotta do to get here, who I'm gonna tell, jobs, this, that, everything about it. And I plan as much as I can in that one day. And I'm like, okay, you gotta separate yourself from this a little bit. Give yourself some room to breathe, Carter. You dove headfirst into this. So from February until June, I planned everything I could about it. And then on June 13th, when my birthday was, I told myself I was gonna buy one thing on my birthday. And that one thing was going to be my plane ticket to come out here to Thailand. So June 13th comes around, and I hop on my laptop and I look up the flight information, and I find an $800 ticket to Thailand that is 27 hours to get here. And I'm like, that's the one. That's the cheapest one I could find. So I was like, that has to be the one. So at noon on my birthday, I go and I buy this plane ticket. And right after I buy it, I'm just filled with like excitement and anxiousness and dread and uncertainty and joy and like just excited for this next chapter. And it was just all these emotions piled into one button click. And I was like, fuck, man, like this is really real. Like you're actually going to Thailand now. And keep in mind that like I had to sell everything I had in Colorado in order to get here to Thailand. And at that point in time, I had nothing sold at all. So I knew that with that button press came a commitment to a long journey ahead of me. So being the nut job that I am, I bought the plane ticket at noon on my birthday, right? 2 hours later, at 2 o'clock, I had planned to take 4 grams of mushrooms and just lose my mind. I've never taken 4 grams of mushrooms before, so I was like, hey, good old birthday treat. This will be cool, little intense, have a good time with it, you know? So after I buy the plane ticket, I go to my little lunchbox, you know, imagine that looking like a box. And that I have just full of a bunch of different baggies, different strands and strains of mushrooms. And I go in there and I fiddle around and I pull out a random one. These mushrooms are called pink buffaloes. I was like, all right, those sound cool, man. Fuck it, let me take them. I've never heard about these before. So I take them, weigh them out, take them, and then I go sit on my bean bag and I start putting a playlist together for the trip that I'm about to go on and the hike that I'm about to go on. I got my backpack full of like cherries and oranges and water and just gonna have a great time up in the mountains by myself. So I'm sitting on my beanbag and about 10 minutes go by and I start thinking to myself and I'm like, I wonder if pink buffaloes are actually real. You know, because I've never heard of them, but they might be. And I get on my phone and I look up pink buffaloes and it turns out pink buffaloes are real and they're native to Thailand. And that moment was a moment that I will never forget in my entire life. Just the feeling of being able to relax my shoulders and the universe saying, it's like, hey dude, I know you're nervous. You don't know if this is the right path, but everything's gonna be okay and you're headed the right way. And it was something that instantly I was like, okay, I hear you loud and clear. If this is a sign, I got the sign, Miss Ma'am. So at that point in time, I then realized that my goal with coming to Thailand is to come here and find the pink buffalo. And I love giving life to stories, and that's why that this whole story and this whole journey has been called the Pink Buffalo. And yeah, and I have very good news coming about the Pink Buffalo very soon. And that's the story of the Pink Buffalo and why it is called the Pink Buffalo.